Greetings, everybody. So, I wanted to talk about the 40-year-old Nashville, Tennessee chef named Quita Cole. She kept saying that she needed rest. She was a restaurateur and she worked 7 days a week. We need relaxation, we need to rejuvenate. We're not meant to run like we're machines. And it is unfortunate that we live in a capitalist society where we are required to work. It really goes against our very nature. Our ancient ancestors worked the land, they lived off the land, they celebrated one another, they had community. Now we have individualism and separatism. We judge and criticize one another, even if you don't know the person, just because they're different. It's really sad how we treat one another. And it's to the point now where a lot of people don't even see anything wrong with it. We gatekeep. We overlook people. We put people in boxes and categories that they don't belong in. And everybody deals with their trauma differently, right? Some people heal and become and elevate to a more higher level of consciousness, and some people vibrate lower and they become mean and evil spirited and they take their frustrations out on other people. And if you're the opposite of that, they all of a sudden decide that they don't like you and they try to provoke you or sabotage you. It's really unfortunate. And then they think you don't know what's going on. But if you're someone who's clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant, any of the clairs, you know, even if you don't know exactly what somebody's doing or saying, you may know how it makes you feel. You hear the things that people are not saying, right? If you're clairaudient, you can, as they say, read between the lines. Everybody doesn't have that ability, though, because everybody's not elevating to their higher level of consciousness. Some people are just going along to get along, existing in a society that is trying to depopulate. And then when you're not living up to a certain standard, again, people will judge you. But they don't take into consideration, yes, some people do rise above their current circumstance, but a whole lot of people do not because they don't know how, or they don't have the help, they don't have the support, they don't have the guidance, and they don't have the resources to get the guidance or support they need. The people around them The people around them are like crabs in a barrel trying to pull them down and keep them back where they are. Like, how dare you lose weight? Or how dare you get a good job? Or how dare you leave out of the trailer park or move out of the, you know, rural or urban city in which you were born and raised and do better. Some people don't like it. Yes, there are some people or some parents who are very supportive of their children. They give them the proper guidance. They teach them how to save. They teach them how to there's a plane going by. I don't know if you can hear it. But some people teach their children how to manage their money, how to invest it. And some just teach their children how to spend it. And sometimes those habits are challenging to change when you've never done it before, never seen it done before. It's different from watching someone on TV or social media and actually applying it, because sometimes you don't even know where to start. So then when you start with doing what you know how to do, which is what Quita Cole did, she was a good cook. And people love to eat. You can always make business with food. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be good. Now, I understand that a lot of restaurants fail within their first year. But for the most part, in Nashville, Tennessee, if you make some good food, people are going to come eat it. Now, in some of the bigger cities, you know, it is more challenging. But again, if you've never had a business before, you don't understand necessarily how to delegate responsibility and take a step back. You're just all in. And I know this from my own experience, being all in for my business. People think that if you're an entrepreneur, that you're lazy. It's quite the opposite, because you have to do everything. You have to buy the supplies. You have to do your own bookkeeping and accounting. You have to make the product, sell the product. You have to be there, hands-on, boots on the ground, each and every day. Taking packages, if it's e-commerce business or a business where you actually mail out products, you have to do that until you get to a point where you're able to pay your staff and hire people to do those things for you. But if you're not comfortable because you feel like you don't trust people, or you're just not at that point, but sometimes people are at that point and they hold themselves back. I was working for someone for 5 years and she kept saying, I don't have it. It's not enough. I don't have it. But at the same time, she never went up on her prices. And when she finally did go up on her prices after years of being in business, it was only like $5 or $10. And then you keep telling people who are working for you that you don't have enough to pay them. Or you want them to have their own clients or customers. But this is your business. The people who work for you are just there to help you. And there was a lack of understanding for that. But, you know, when you give people advice, they think you're trying to take over their business. Especially if they got the business idea from somebody else. So they feel like that karma is going to come back onto them through you. When you could just be, again, someone who's there to help them. But people don't like to listen, or they just don't respect what you say because it's you. Like, oh, well, you don't have a successful business, or if you've never had a successful business, so you don't know what you're talking about. Just like the people who say a person with kids can't give advice. That's not true. They've been a kid. They've been around other children. One has nothing to do with the other. And you don't know what a person has experienced. But this is where we are, where as soon as somebody says something to us, if we feel like this is not someone we can respect because they're not driving the car that we think they should drive, or they don't have the type of degree that we think that they should have, or because they're not doing as well in society as perhaps you are, then there should just be this lack of respect for what this person has to say. It's horrible. And again, people always thinking because of the things that they've done that, you know, someone is out to get them. It's really unfortunate. But I hope that she's able to rest in power. You know, she kept complaining that she needed some rest, and now she's finally getting it. But not in the way that she expected. Love y'all.